Yeah, let's watch Casually Explained real quick because I heard it's about Canada. Oh, Canada! It's called The Greatest Country on Earth, and it's 8 minutes long.
It is sponsored by Saley. Canada is the second largest country in the world by landmass, and despite having only 40 million people, it has a massively outsized global impact. Firstly, our flag is objectively the best humanity has come up with so far, and the only one that rivals us is when Japan powers up for 2 episodes and then sends their navy to commit war crimes. Secondly, ask any American to name one non-economic metric that America does better than Canada, and they'll say, what's a metric? Most importantly, America likes to brag they put man on the moon, but Canada put women in leggings. Welcome to the 21st century. Now,
Lululemon is a Canadian brand, and you're proud of that? Do you know Lululemon was named that because the founder wanted to make a name that Asian people couldn't pronounce? That is actually why they named it that. It's like actually insanely racist. And that's Canada's proudest company. What is Canada's biggest company other than a bank? Because obviously their highest market cap is going to be a bank. Every country's companies by market cap. All right. Number 1, Royal Bank of Canada. Number 2, Shopify. Shopify Rebellion. Holy shit. It's Shopify. I didn't know that was a Canadian company. Then it's a bank. What is Enbridge? A bank? Crude oil and liquid pipeline system. All right. We love crude oil. Nothing crude about it, really. Pumping oil is badass. All right, Enbridge. Brookfield Corporation and Brookfield Asset Management, separate companies with nearly identical market caps. That's weird. What does it do? What does Brookfield do? Asset management. Okay. Bank of Montreal. All right, so Shopify's the big standout here. Good for them. Yeah, it's railways and banks. Mines. Is that gold mine? I think I own shares of this. Yeah, I do. I do. I bought, this is not a ton of money, but I bought a bunch of gold miners. Yeah, I bought a bunch of gold miners. No fucking way. I should have bought more. Oh, I only put like $5,000 in, bro. I should have bought more. You know, I'll tell you exactly what happened. I'm not fucking kidding. So, I don't know who I was listening to, but I've obviously been very gold pilled. And this guy goes, he goes, all right, in times of inflation, step 1, the gold goes up. Step 2, after the gold goes up, all the miners go up. Step 3, after that, then silver spikes. Step 4, after that, then the silver miners spike. And I was like, I don't know if you're fucking crazy or not, but I'll throw some money at gold miners. That's funny. So I'm here this time to invest in silver. I think silver spiked recently, actually. But I don't trust silver as much. Silver ETF. Yeah. Maybe you still have time on the silver miners. Assuming this guy's right. But I mean, listen, we don't know. Nobody knows where anything goes, but I will say his order is insanely right. It was literally gold, then gold miners, and now silver. That's actually crazy. That's fucking fire. All right.
but Canada put women in leggings. Welcome to the 21st century. Now, even though Canada is known as the Great White North, if you look at the demographics of Vancouver, I'm in fact a minority. Despite my oppression, I live in harmony with other people, and Canada is a melting pot of cultures. From the west coast to the east coast, you have an enormous diversity of people. To illustrate the point, here we have the newlywed and nearly dead, then we have gays and Asians, then it goes Timu, Texas, Earth is flat, definitely flat, milk in a bag, gays, lobsters, potatoes, leprechauns. All the other territories are climate change insurance. Although it has a lot of similarities,
seems right to me. Seems right to me. I like that it said French, but he said gays. That's great. That's crazy. That's wild. My Canadian geography is not great. Is Calgary here in Timu, Texas? Yeah, that's where I was. That's where I was, and it was America pilled. There were Cybertrucks, there were Ford F-150s, all right? It was America, bro. Low key, high key. Dude, this lettuce bun burger, do you think I'll be welcome in Timu, Texas with my lettuce bun burger? Or do I need to go to fucking Quebec?
Leprechauns. All the other territories are climate change insurance. Although it has a lot of similarities, Canadian culture is distinctly different from the US. As an example, Canada doesn't have the NFL, NBA, or MLB. We just have the NHL, which stands for No Houses Left. While we've tried nothing to solve this, we're all out of ideas. Because us cool Canadians on the West Coast who have pine trees and somewhat acceptable weather don't relate so much to everyone in the lame eastern provinces who have maple trees and funny accents, the Pacific Northwest has previously thrown around the idea of creating our own independent sovereign territory called Cascadia, which would mostly include British Columbia, Washington, and Oregon. The idea came about when we asked ourselves if an economy could be sustained purely by fishermen, lumberjacks, and pride parades. And while haters say that men shouldn't be in women's sports, no other country is ever beating us at Olympic drag. Sometimes English-speaking Canadians get a little sad because we don't have much in our culture that is distinctly Canadian and not influenced by the United States. But that's exactly the beauty of it. One of the best parts of being Canadian is traveling abroad, and when someone asks you, "So, where in the United States are you from?" you get to experience the joy and relief on their face when you say you're from Canada. The fact of the matter...
Yeah, I already mentioned I have a counter to this, which is that I'm American and I just said I'm Canadian. And then I act very American so that every Canadian who tries this trick of saying where they're actually from will be looked on with doubt. Okay? I'm blowing up your whole fucking spot. When I'm on holiday, I turn up my Australian accents. Are you actually part Australian? Because if you're just making it up, that's insane. It will not sound right. G'day, mate! He's Chinese. He's Chinese.
This video is a protest for more. That's exactly the beauty of it. One of the best parts of being Canadian is traveling abroad, and when someone asks you, "So, where in the United States are you from?" you get to experience the joy and relief on their face when you say you're from Canada. The fact of the matter is that Canadian and American culture are deeply intertwined. You might be European and think, "You North Americans are all the same. You think life is only about working and making more money so you can consume more. Over here, we know what truly matters in life. €2 wine, 3 girlfriends, 1 passport." Easy to say when you have time off to protest for more time off, but this jab doesn't faze us Canadians. Americans work long hours, complain a lot, and make a lot of money, whereas Canadians work long hours. Similarly, the moment a Canadian goes to Europe and is like, "Wait, everything's closed from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. and every Sunday? Every street is one way? Why does it look like they just tacked on traffic lights to 300-year-old cobblestone roads? Where's the street parking? Where are the highway systems to connect us to Costco?" We then suddenly become aware there isn't a single IHOP, Tim Hortons, Denny's, or 24/7
Jesus
drive-thru
Christ.
literally anywhere.
It's a fucking disaster. No Denny's? How the fuck could you call yourself Europe? You don't even have an America's Diner. There's nothing to eat. You starve? We have Wendy's. Honestly, you have Burger King. European Burger King tastes way better, bro. I say it. I stand by that.
And we realize this isn't work-life balance. This is some bullshit. And we stand with the Americans as our own brethren who especially do not tolerate being hungry under any circumstance. When you ask someone to think of things that are for real Canadian and not American at all, there are only a few things that come to mind. Beavers, moose, hockey, poutine, Rush, Nanaland, the Big Comfy Couch,
I don't know
Terrence
that.
and Phillip, Little Bear, Franklin, This Cancer Patient, both Ryans and Nelly Furtado.
If you think that I knew that Little Bear was Canadian, you're dead wrong. And most of the Canadian celebrities, I only find they're Canadian later. All right. We automatically assume they're American until told otherwise. Okay.
Nathan Fielder, the Trailer Park Boys, the
Nathan Fielder's a big get, though. That is a big get. Nathan Fielder's a big get. And I got to give Canada a big dub for that. That's in the draft. That's a good one. That's a big get.
Scourge of the Earth, and of course maple syrup. But what truly defines Canadian culture is how we measure things, as we're not just bilingual in both imperial and metric, but we also just make up measurements as we go along. People and objects are weighed in pounds, but not food. We measure that in grams and milliliters. We measure alcohol in mils and liters, but a bottle of gin is a 2/6 and a glass of wine is in ounces. A person's height is measured in feet and inches, and short distances are also in feet. But if something is at the end of the block, we'll tell you it's like 50 meters away. Only old people use yards and miles. But that's okay, because all of us take pride in being able to poorly convert it to metric for you. Long distances are not measured in kilometers or miles, but are instead measured by the time it takes you to get there. All temperature is measured in Celsius because Fahrenheit just makes no sense at all. This excludes the oven. That should obviously be in Fahrenheit, as we all know Celsius only goes up to 100. A major difference between Canada and the US is our slang. For example, what do you call this? We call this pop, while you guys call it soda. You call this a beanie, and we call it a toque. We would say this is a washroom, you would call this a restroom.
Fair.
We would call this an ambulance, while you call it filing for bankruptcy. We like to say that went from 0 to 100 real quick, while you say 32 to 212.
No, we don't
While
do that.
Canadians are known for saying sorry a lot, it's not because we're apologizing at all. We use it for every situation an American would say, excuse me, pardon me, huh, or oops. Trying to move past someone in the way, that's a sorry. Bumped someone accidentally, that's a sorry. What did you say? That's a sorry. Spilled your own drink? That's a sorry. Wait, that was your land? That's a sorry. For some reason, Americans find our words for things cute and endearing, while we're annoyed because that's just how we talk. I thought Americans were just giving us the big brother treatment until one time an American came into the souvenir store I worked at when I was 18 and was like,
Aiden was on the fucking Patreon of the pod, and he kept saying, I can't even pronounce it this way he does. Borrow. Can I borrow $5? Borrow $5. He still it's fucking, it's terrible. He's still got it in him, dude. He wasn't trying to fuck with us. We asked him. We followed up. It became a big segment. And he says that everybody in his life here in America makes fun of him when he says borrow. But it's a sickness. He's also strapped for cash. Yeah, he's broke as shit, dude. He was literally on air begging me for money because he's lost it all on fucking Gucci belts. How do you say it? Borrow. Can I borrow $5? Slicker. I need it more than you. Slicker, can you ask all the other streamers to borrow money and then funnel it to me so that I can hide it and then blame it on you? That's like an example of a sentence you might say. Some people say wooder for water. It was insane. He hit me up even though he was broke. Wait, in case he was broke or you were broke? Hitting you up because he was broke makes total sense.
help me out with your Monopoly money, I can't make sense of it. And while people still say that all the time about our fabulous and indestructible bills, he instead dropped a handful of coins onto the table and then was like, okay, this one's a nickel, this one's a dime, and this one's a quarter. We have this.
How do we feel about, I don't know if I have an opinion on this.
Like, fabulous. And
I haven't made up my mind. I think color-coded bills like this, they kind of are cool as hell. They make me think of like loot in a video game. I think they're fucking sick. But on the flip side, like I think America having the greenback and it all just being this fucking green dollar is badass too. Like I wouldn't change our money, but I think if I was in a different country, I would want to have color coded money. I feel like it's not the best design, but it's iconic at this point. It would be kind of sick though if there was like a $500 bill that was like gold. Trump! I know Trump would go for that. Put his face on it. The $500 Trump bill and it's gold. Tell me he wouldn't go for that. Bro, I swear to God, make me a world leader. I could fucking have Trump eat out of the palm of my hand. It'd be so easy. Did you see what Korea did? So I don't remember if it was on Big Egg Clips or on Lemonade Stand, but I said, I'm not joking. I think Japan, when negotiating with Trump for the trade deal, should show up and give him a golden samurai sword and like a fucking golf cart and be like, this is a honorable, like, I literally said this. I actually believe this. So not but a month later, South Korea just showed up and gave him a golden Korean turtle ship. Wait, look at this. They showed up, they gave him this and like a golden pen with, I think, his name on it. And the deal got signed. It's the perfect fucking plan. And then you want to know what gifts that, you want to know what gifts Trump gave South Korea back? Here's a simple question. This is what they gave Trump. A symbol of their culture in solid gold. Okay? This is what Trump gave them back. A fucking signed MAGA hat. They gave him merch. He gave him merch, and then he signed the menu. This is the menu of the lunch they ate. He signed the menu. Iceberg lettuce, mango ice cream. Just the fucking meal they did that day. Trump got scammed. That's what I'm saying, bro. He just got this fucking rinky-dink gold turtle ship, and they get a priceless signed Make America Great Again hat? And the menu? Art of the deal, baby. And if he keeps doing that one step at a time, if he keeps getting the net advantage of the trades, he's making the U.S. wealthier. Every time he meets a leader and gets more than he's giving, in terms of gifts, he's making our country wealthier one step at a time. It adds up, bro. It adds up. He's just thinking about the country. Anyway, currency-wise, I think this kind of fucks, is all I'm saying. I think it's cool to have color-coded loot drops of money. Dude, I think it would be cool to have color-coded coins that were worth lots of, like, I think it'd be cool to have a $50 coin. A red $50 coin. Wouldn't that feel fucking badass? It's like a casino chip, yeah. Canada has a 2-color coin, $2. Be way hard to verify. How would it be hard to verify? Harder than the plastic money? I'm gonna paint my $1 coin to make it 50. You get the. I mean, they'll make them different sizes, I guess, so it's not so easy. But like, it would be funny if there was like $100 coin that was like green or whatever, and then you paint your cheap ones, and then you just try to slam it on the table.
Indestructible bills. He instead dropped a handful of coins onto the table and then was like, okay, this one's a nickel, this one's a dime, and this one's a quarter. We have the same sort of thing back home, but what on earth are these things? Okay, so that one's a loonie. A what? Oh my gosh, wow, what's that worth? $1. It's got a loon on it. It's like a duck sort of thing. That's why we.
Did you know coins have ridges around the edge? Because otherwise people used to shave the edges off them and then melt them down into new coins. I did not know that. And I guess I knew it from knowing that people did do currency fraud with coins. But I guess I did not know that the shaved edges was a counter to that. Coin clipping. That's funny. That's how like Rome at the end of its cycle would, because when you have a gold-based currency, you can't inflate it the same way that you can with a fiat currency. Now, you can't just print a bunch more money. So what they would do is they would just put less gold in each coin. They would put like, I don't know what the filler metal would be, but they'd put other things. So there'd be less and less gold per each coin. They'd shrinkflation it, basically. Yeah. And then people would stop trusting the currency.
call it a little. Oh, I haven't seen that before. You Canadians really are something, aren't you? Okay, then what's this one worth? $2? What do you call this one? A double loony? And I was like, I don't want to tell you anymore.
It's a tootie!
Anyway, before you ask, yes, we do throw them at strippers, and yes, they do die sometimes. If you've ever wondered why your girlfriend always has random bruises on her legs and she says she doesn't know how they got there, now you know. At the end of the day, there's really only one way for Canada to be better than it is, which is if Air Canada were replaced by literally any other airline. Besides that, only a few suggestions have been worth considering, like when Trump threw around the idea of the United States becoming part of Canada. While this would increase the amount of provinces we have to 60, it would require some sacrifices. First of all, the force field we built on the southern border would have been for nothing. Secondly, guns would be everywhere, particularly in my possession, causing a threat to general safety.
True.
While Americans would finally get universal healthcare, that would bankrupt us all. And while the little morsel of British education we still have in us would be cancelled out by the American education system, I'd finally be able to get a good brisket. All in all, not a bad trade-off for America to be run by Canadians from here on out. Now, if you're
Alright,
someone
take over.
who's been threatening to move to Canada every 4 years if the guy you don't like gets in, you're cooked when I get in and there's nowhere to go. At least nowhere that's covered by your cell phone provider's roaming plan at a reasonable price, which is why today's sponsor Saley has you covered.
Check it out, Saley.